is the future of really fast stuff. What you're about to see is the sister car to the Rimac Nevera, based around the same powertrain technology, electrical architecture, and carbon core, but is draped in a body and interior of Pininfarina's design. Now curious? Welcome back to Refined Wealth. For today's video, we will have a close look at the Pininfarina Battista 1,900 brake horsepower hypercar and see what it brings to the table. Even though Pininfarina is Italy's most famous design house and has a back catalog that goes back 91 years and includes winners like the Ferrari F40 and Cisitalia 202, this is the first road car to ever have the Pininfarina name on it and the most powerful car ever made by Italians. Automobili Pininfarina hopes that the company's history will lead to juicy, standalone success. Their plan is to build 150 Battistas at a cost of about £2 million each. Not only that, it sees itself as a pioneer in the luxury EV space. So wait, it's electric? Yep, I forgot to say that this Hyper GT is an all-electric hypercar. No need to wait in line for £20 worth of gas in this £2 million piece of carbon and lithium. Just fill up the optional Residenza wall box in your huge garage with a glass floor and go about your day. But how good can it go? Pininfarina says that the car can go 310 miles or 500 kilometers on a single charge if you drive like a beginner. This is because it has a 120 kilowatt-hour T-shaped battery that runs down the middle of the car and wraps around behind the seats. And when you're not hyper-milling, a whole lot of speed. It even has 4 motors, one for each wheel, allowing full torque vectoring, which means that power can be sent instantly to where it's needed most. And together, they produce a headline figure of 1,874 brake horsepower and 1,696 pound-feet of torque. That's the twist of 2.4 LaFerraris, in case you were wondering. 0 to 60 miles per hour takes less than 2 seconds. 0 to 186 miles per hour takes less than 12 seconds. The top speed is 217 miles per hour. And if you can find a 180 kilowatt DC charger, you can charge from 0 to 80% in 40 minutes. In basic words, it's very quick, it can fly. In the real world, the number mentioned might be the most important, since the biggest problem with owning a Battista will be finding a place that is wide, long, and private enough to let it run at full speed, even for a few seconds. If you're lucky enough to have a NASCAR oval and an infield all to yourself, then good for you. Are you curious about what the car is made of? A single piece of carbon fiber and the batteries are in a T-shape behind the seats and along the sides. Did you know that together with Rimac, they are working on the electrical architecture? Two great minds think alike. No one knows exactly how heavy it is, which is telling, but Pininfarina says the layout gives it the best weight distribution. As we've mentioned, it has 4 motors that send power and torque to each wheel, and it also has torque vectoring, which is hard to do with 1,900 brake horsepower. They set up the braking with carbon ceramic discs and 6 piston calipers, 390mm diameter at the front and 380mm at the rear. Using a fast charger, you can add about 80% to its range in about 40 minutes. That's plenty of time to go from dead to driving again. Would you rather have your super-fast, all-electric hypercar look like a Blade Runner 2049 Renegade? Pininfarina chose not to do it. They wanted to keep the shape and size of a traditional supercar. They did a lot of research and thought about how much of a spaceship it could have been. And in the end, they decided to make something that fits Pininfarina's history and values. It's still the best way to set up a ship, with the cabin moving forward and the long tail making it look balanced. Pininfarina knew this was the right way to go. You can probably see it brings back some of the beauty and sensuality of the 1960s. What strikes you most is how clean and beautiful they are. Looking closely, the main display in the cockpit is shaped like a vanishing point, and the layout is designed with the driver in mind. The inside is made of the best materials, but instead of leather, you might see trendy materials that can be recycled. It's a plus point for all the environmentalists out there. Did you know that each car can be customized to the extent that the customer wants? Today, that's the most profitable part of the game. And instead of spending a lot of money on research and development, Automobili Pininfarina plans to work with carefully chosen partners to make the car. In this way, Apple's structure, which is called asset-light, is a better example than, say, Bugatti or Porsche. You need to learn from the competition, right? Let's put aside the fact that the Pininfarina Battista costs £2 million to enter and that you'll need your own private racetrack to really get the most out of it. For what it was meant to do, the Batista is a success. Why? First of all, it's beautiful inside and out, even if it might be too quiet for some. If that's the case, we suggest you skip the naked carbon, which looks boring from a distance, and go for something bold and colorful instead. Mark my words, you will never get used to the Batista's club around the head performance because the human body is not made to. Obviously, there are some downsides to owning an electric hypercar instead of one with a screaming V12, such as a lack of noise, a limited range, and not being able to shift up and down the gearbox. However, at this sky-high price and performance level, it's all about creating an experience that sticks in your mind and gets your adrenaline pumping, right? And you can't drive this car without being mesmerized or surprised by the way it moves forward and handles its weight. What do you guys think? Maybe the better question is Pininfarina Battista or the Rimac? You can't lose if you choose and go with your gut. Comment down your answers below. Don't forget to like this video, and since you're already here, you might as well subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on great new videos. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the following video.